Hey, Maxim here. It's changing the background today, so find it somewhere else. Um, so yeah, there's a bunch of changes yesterday, and one of them is settling of my travel plans, which is Bali now apparently. Wood in 3 weeks, 26th of February, I'm going to Ubud and we'll be there for a month, I guess. That's my plan right now. We'll see how accommodation works out. So I'm here for another 3 weeks. If you are in Russia, we can meet, hang out, and have a drink in a cafe shop like this or somewhere else. So I wasn't sure what I'm going to talk about today, and I was just finishing the last chapter of the relationship agreement books, and I found this one paragraph which just like created the topic for the whole discussion today. So I just want to read this to you. This is from Cunning Mix of polyweekly.com. So she shares her user manual. It's basically her personal agreement with herself on what is your core values, what is your history, and things like this. And the part that resonates with me is history. So she talks about her family background, and one of the things she says, again, I didn't have a close family, and I tend to be kind of awed by people who have good relationship with their relatives. I think this is why I like the idea of polyamory. My family of birth isn't going to suddenly all lovely, dovey, and supportive, so wouldn't it be cool if I could have a family of choice that was so I could have that experience? That would be nifty. That was just a small little paragraph there, but the the realization that came to me, and I don't know many poly people. I probably know like three, four tops. Uh, from those people that I know who are like openly polyamorous, there are problems with acceptance of their own family of origin, and that kind of remind me of the fact that yes, we can choose we can choose people to hang out because our parents are boring, and like whenever you say that, people will be like, yeah, our parents are boring, but they are your family. They are your family. It doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter how much you try to reject them. They're your family, and the problem with rejecting them is actually not necessarily rejecting them. It's rejecting yourself because as much as you want to pretend, you will have traits of your parents. You will. It's inevitable, and by rejecting them, you are rejecting yourself, and you're rejecting parts of yourself which look like your parents. And you see something and you'll be like, oh my god, no, that looks like my dad. I should not be doing this. Or you see something that you do and you feel it looks like your mom and you shouldn't be doing this because this resembles your parents and they're so boring. We're not first generation who thinks this way. They thought the same way about their parents. It's a generational conflict, but it's the difference between being angry at them and running away from your family, accepting them for who they are, with all the quirks and things they have, and it doesn't mean that you need to agree on everything. It doesn't mean that you need to be in alignment with them, but they are part of you. You resemble them not just physically, but psychologically. The traits that you have are based on what you saw in your parents. So if you reject them, you're rejecting yourself. And I want to talk about my experience with here because I, when I moved from Russia, and I was, let's call it Russophobe. It's called. I would basically run away whenever I see a Russian. I'm like, oh fuck no, run away. And that was part of that rejection for sure. Like, I would reject my own nation, even to go deeper than that. I would just reject the whole nation instead of just rejecting my family. And yeah, this trip has been very different. Like in terms of, I see some things like which is like, oh yeah, it's Russians doing this, and at the same time, I don't feel like I'm uh, judging them as much as I used to. There's definitely some like, ooh, this in Russia, that in Russia, but it's less, and it takes time, of course, to accept all of this, and it's part of who you are. Like, I think it's not part of accepting actually the nation or the family. It's part of accepting yourself. It's part of accepting yourself for who you are and who you will be. And when you accept yourself, then you can grow and you can go beyond. Because while you're still trying to run away from the small child inside of you, who resembles your parents so much, you never grow from that. You never go beyond that experience. So I'm not saying that all polyamorous people are like this. It's just like this example, and I have two other friends who have similar experience. But I would like to hear more from poly friends that I have. Does your experience resemble? Do you feel like you don't have a family home? You feel like your family is not really your family, and instead you're trying to find a family outside? And what is the deepest connection we can create between non-family members is a sexual romantic relationship. So we create family by being polyamorous. And yeah, I'm not saying polyamory is wrong. I'm just asking you what is the reason, and if the reason is to run away from yourself, if the reason is to not being able to accept your own family, to accept parts of yourself which look like your parent, then maybe polyamory isn't an answer. Maybe the answer is within yourself. So, just a question only you can answer. Okay, that's the one. This one for this video. Have a good one. Make some out.